y'all. This this is the biggest scandal that I have seen in a long time with everything happening. I mean, I just have no words. I really have no words. Donald Trump, with his doing tariffs, then reversing them, and having the stock market just skyrocket. I mean, the way that this all has gone down, it's like he manipulated the stock market on purpose to profit with it. And he even sent out a message saying, buy now, and then does this reversal, and immediately, like, all these people start getting super, super wealthy because of everything. Like, this is insanity. It's real insanity. Like, Donald Trump has literally done a whole scam of insider trading and used the American people's, like, retirement, 401ks, the stocks they have in their companies as leverage. And it's really crazy that someone would do something like this. Like, this isn't about Republican versus Democrat. This isn't about your political ideology. This is about our president, whether it is Trump or Biden or Obama or whatever. No one should be able to do something like this. Use the American people's 401ks, retirement, their hardworking, their stocks for some insider trading ploy, completely blow up our relationships that we have with our global trading partners as leverage to what? Manipulate the stock market for a few people's gain? This is insanity. This is insanity. I don't know how else to put it. So we're going to break everything down. I love all of you so much. Please make sure to send some likes. I truly don't know what to say. So for those of you who do not know, it came about that Donald Trump recently just instituted a 90-day pause. Sorry, it's hard to see with the green screen. A 90-day pause on these tariffs and a reciprocal tariff of 10%. So, like, he just instituted this pause here and jacked it up for China only. But then, because the stock market's been going down, like plummeting because of these tariffs, and then he just announces this pause, it shoots right up. But shortly before he announced the pause, he posted on his Truth Social. He posted saying, "This is a great time to buy. It's a great time to buy." It's like he knew that as soon as he paused it, that then the stock market would start soaring. This is literally market manipulation. But think for a second if this was anyone other than Trump. If this was Biden. If this was even Bush, Obama, Kamala Harris. It would be just as wrong. It's not about Republican versus Democrat. This is about morality. This is about absolute corruption. If Liz Cheney had done this, it would be just as bad. If Elizabeth Warren had done this, it'd be just as bad. The fact is, this is insider trading at its peak. And they used hardworking, working class and the middle class stocks as leverage. And I have no words when it comes to this. This is the most blatant corruption that I've seen in American history. And you're using it as like a hostage. I'm just gobsmacked, honestly. That's why it took me so long to prepare for this live stream, because I'm just gobsmacked. I'm gobsmacked that this kind of thing just happened. So let's do a full recap here. Make sure to send some likes. I love all of you. Y'all are awesome. So Donald Trump put in place these tariffs, you know. He puts in place all these tariffs on all these other countries, being like, America's not doing great, you know, we're being ripped off by all of these other countries, even though we're the country that literally set up the World Economic Exchange, because we have been, like, mostly running the world ever since World War II. Anyway, he goes and says that we're going to put all these tariffs on, all these tariffs, and now he just repealed them. Okay. What's so interesting, and this meme really gets it. I'm adding tariffs, and Trump's MAGA cult is like, this will create jobs. I'm removing tariffs, art of the deal. I'm adding tariffs, this will create jobs. I'm removing tariffs, art of the deal. It's also similar to this meme here. I make a stupid decision, something really bad happens. I convince my followers the problem is now magically solved. I reverse my stupid decision. This is what we are seeing. This over and over and over again. Democratic Senator Brian Schatz said, and did this in like sarcastic Trump voice, said, our plan is working perfectly and is just a negotiating tactic, but it's also going to be permanent, and we will be the world leader in textiles, and now there is a pause for everyone that needs to be chill, so we have to back down and That is very much Donald Trump's speech. Like, I couldn't do a better impression. Like, why my screen is looking kind of wonky. There we go. So, what we're seeing is NASDAQ call volumes spiked minutes before the 90-day tariff pause was announced. Not a good look at all. SPY calls spiked by a factor of 10, just 10 minutes before Trump announced that he was pausing tariffs. Everything is a scam for these people. You can see before Trump posted the buy on Truth Social, traders opened up lots of these things here. And I'm not the most technical, not the most, like, savvy. He posts great time to buy shortly before this announcement that him pausing these tariffs. Let's just take, for example, let's just say this was Biden for a second. Biden says that he's going to do these global widespread tariffs, right? These tariffs which decrease consumer confidence, completely destroy our relationships we have with many of our trading partners. I mean, we're going through and destroying relationships with all of our good friends, even Canada. Like, the fact that he's just going through and saying, we're going to throw all these tariffs, y'all. Anyway, the stock market plunges, and then he says, this is a great time to buy, I can't tell you why, but it is. And then he puts a 90-day pause and the stock market shoots right up. And what's so interesting, he even was found on video being like, this guy made $2.5 billion, 2.5 million today. This guy made 900 million. That's not bad. So, yeah, I don't think it's far-fetched to mention that it's like Donald Trump tried to crash the stock market on purpose to then buy low and then put a pause on these tariffs, the ones that he instituted, and then it shot up. Put for a second that this was Kamala Harris. Just put for a second that it was a Democrat. Heaven forbid. Guess what? Pause. I'm saying this as a very registered Democrat, very, very progressive. It would be just as corrupt. It would be just as bad. It would be just as suspicious and unacceptable. Think for a second if this was another political figure that you'd seem to like. It's not about it being like Republican, Democrat. It's about the principle. It's about literally insider trading, profiting off of information not known to the American public, and using their retirement and 401ks as leverage for them to then profit personally off of manipulating the stock market. This is what Trump is doing instead of trying to carry out policy that helps people. He's literally going through, putting tariffs, causing a stock market crash, claiming buy now, pauses the tariffs, the ones that he instituted that were about to destroy the global economy. I mean, the last time we did tariffs was the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act. Yeah, that plunged us into the Great Depression. He pauses the tariffs, the stock market plunges up, he makes a whole bunch of money, him and his billionaire friends. It doesn't matter if it is a Republican or a Democrat. It's about the morality. It's about the principle. Now, what's so interesting is, again, I've said this so many times in my live streams, trying to reason with these people. It's like we're trying to play Monopoly with a 4-year-old named Donald Trump. When you play Monopoly with a 4-year-old, if there are no rules in place, that 4-year-old's going to try to change the rules every single time. You pass go, oh, you don't get to collect money. I pass go, I collect $400. You call them out on it, they whine, scream, absolutely bitch and moan. Like, that's what they do. You land on their hotels, you have to pay them double. They land on your hotels, they only have to pay 10%. That is what it's like with these Republicans. That's what it's like with MAGA, I should say. It's always heads I win, tails you lose. Not fighting for a fair country. And again, it really just shows in these memes here. Tariffs are really good, actually, but it's also good that they've been paused for 90 days or they don't happen at all. They don't stand by any principles. It's only about opportunism. It's only about making a cash grab for their deity, Donald Trump. It's not about anything of a fundamental baseline value set or belief set. It is nothing about principles. Nothing. It's only about opportunism. Oh, I can make a quick cash grab here by using people's 401ks and retirement as leverage in order for me to benefit with my billionaire buddies. That's what this situation is. Literally going through, causing a stock market crash by trying to do these tariffs. Then, as soon as there is that horrible situation, going through and profiting off of it by stopping it. Think of it like this. It's like you go into a house, you're a cleaning service. It's like you go into a house and just absolutely cause an absolute mess. Absolute mess. You vandalize this person's house. And then afterwards, while they're gone, and then you go back and the person's like, oh my God, my house has been vandalized. It's so messy. Then you say, hey, I have a cleaning company. We can come in and clean it up for you. Here's my card. I'm absolutely here to help. And you know what? I'll even give you a discount of 25% because this is just awful what's happened to you. So I'll go through and we'll clean it up for you. Then they make money off of the problem that they caused. This is what Donald Trump does. He purposely crashes the stock market by trying to put in these nonsense tariffs, brainwashes his followers into thinking that this is somehow a good thing, even though it literally was awful, plunges the stock market, and then goes in and basically just profits off of pausing his bad actions, which leads to it skyrocketing. It's literally the worst form of disaster capitalism. Like, it's literally the worst form of disaster capitalism. And see, Republicans don't care. I should say MAGA doesn't care about this as a phenomenon. Why? Because it serves their God, their deity, their absolute favorite human in the universe, Donald Trump. It doesn't matter that it hurts everyone else, that it hurts everyone. Donald Trump knows that his followers are suckers. They know that his followers are suckers. That's why he does this. Who cares if they lose their money or their 401ks? Who cares? If he gets money, every one of his followers are happy. If it was anyone but him that did this, it would end their political career. He does it, and it's fine. Why? Because they're in a cult. They're in a cult. And there's no other explanation. So, and I appreciate every single one of you. There's a lot of people in here. Just letting you know, don't be obnoxious. My moderators will mute you. Just saying. You can have an opinion that's different from mine. That's fine. But also don't make your opinion based on hate or prejudice. Then you will be muted and blocked. Period. End of story. You have free speech, but it doesn't come without consequences. So if you spew any sort of misinformation that's objectively wrong, or you just spew hate as your First Amendment right, okay, you're going to be muted and blocked. You and I can disagree about liking pineapple on pizza. You and I can disagree about who we voted for. You can't disagree when it comes to just blatant hate. And when I call out corruption, that's not me hating on Trump. That's me holding him accountable, like the patriotic American I am. You might think it's hate, but when you call out corruption, it's not hate. When people called out Biden for his classified documents, that wasn't people hating on him. So why do you have this heads I win, tails you lose kind of thing? Anyway, so let me get into some of the other details here. So Donald Trump literally goes through and puts a whole bunch of tariffs on things. It's a whole bunch of tariffs on things. I mean, I don't have the graphic here to show you, but he just, you know that nonsense math that he put on those like chart that where he just was like, there's this tariff, then there's this tariff, then there's this tariff. I'm putting a tariff on the herd in McDonald Islands. I heard that they have a McDonald's on it. I would love a Frosty. I love a Frosty. I like when Melania gives me a Frosty. The herd in McDonald Islands. You know, those penguins need to be tariffed. They need to be tariffed. Let me tell you, no more being ripped off by the penguins. Being ripped off by the penguins. We can't do that. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I'm missing my hands. Hold on. Let me get my hands. For those of you who do not know, this is my Trump impression. I think it's pretty good. It's fantastic. You've never seen anything like it. But I also have the hands. Thank you, Erica, for getting me the hands. Let me tell you, I love a tariff. It's my favorite word. You could just lather me in butter and then just whisper tariff in my ear and oh my gosh, I'll give you a golden shower like you've never seen. Anyway, so he goes through and puts all these tariffs on things. Then the stock market just absolutely starts plummeting. But then he announces on his own Truth Social page, like, that he's going to pause these tariffs. He announces on his Truth Social page, buy. It's a great time to buy. Go ahead and buy. Buy a Tesla. Buy my love. Buy. Like the song. Goes through and just announces it. And then he says, I'm going to put a pause on it. The stock market shoots up. Let's break this all down more. A pause, surprise, that would be the best way to profit off of market instability, keep it moving in both directions, and exploit the knowledge of when it will turn. A pause, he caved. No one was calling to make a deal. Hilarious. Be cool, Panikin. Be cool. Only MAGA can spin slapping 125% tariff on China while pausing tariffs on everyone else after the bond market spooked him into a pivot. It's just a part of the grand strategy, not a single concession, just winning everywhere. Trump wrote the art of the deal. This was the plan all along. Genius move. Win, win, win. I mean, you see how crazy this all is. You can see before Trump boasted buy on Truth Social that traders opened up so many stocks and it just was like about to skyrocket. Also, I just want to point out that Trump on his Truth Social at one point literally posted a video of him saying that he was crashing the stock market. Now, I don't know if he was trying to troll, but I mean, he literally did that with these tariffs. So Democrats have opened up an investigation into all of this, and good, finally, good. I'm seeing them fight. That's awesome. So, leading Democrats are raising questions about whether insiders profited off of the market swing that followed when Donald Trump's sudden reversal on sweeping tariffs he recently announced on imports from foreign countries. Who in the administration knew about Trump's latest tariff flip-flop ahead of time? Senator Adam Schiff, a Democrat from California, asked in a Blue Sky post Wednesday. Did anyone buy or sell stocks at a profit at the public's expense? I'm writing to the White House. The public has a right to know. On Wednesday, just a week after imposing massive tariffs or taxes by purchasers of foreign goods in what he called Liberation Day, Trump, who for days had claimed that he would not budge, abruptly changed course in the face of the stock market plunges, warning of a global recession and sell-off of U.S. Treasury bonds. I was watching the bond market, Trump told reporters. The bond market's very tricky. Investors, he added, We're getting a little bit yuppie, a little bit afraid, a little bit yippee. Yippee-ki-yay. Was this corruption in plain sight? Elizabeth Warren, Democrat from Massachusetts, asked in a floor speech on Wednesday. We need an independent investigation into market manipulation because Americans need to know whether President Trump or anyone in his administration manipulated the market to benefit their donors, all while they are working for the American people and while small businesses and working families are paying the price. So, one of the most fascinating things about this is, like, you have all of these Trump sycophants and chest thumpers and seals that are MAGA that literally just go through and just applaud this kind of corruption. I truly don't understand how anyone can look at this and say that it's okay. But see, that's the thing. MAGA has turned so many people into psychopaths and sociopaths. I'm sorry. That's the strongest language I've ever used in that regard. But a psychopath or a sociopath means that you have no morals or empathy other than opportunism. That's your only thing. They only care about what benefits them. They don't have a morality complex. They don't have any sort of... They can't look at a situation and think, if the shoe was on the other foot, how would I react? It's only about opportunism. That's all it is. That's all their ideology. But what's warped is that it's opportunism for Trump. They pledge their soul, their whole being, to worshiping someone instead of holding leaders accountable. I'm sorry, like that's what it's turned into. On Capitol Hill, U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer was forced to defend a new policy, one he appeared to have no role in crafting, before irate members of the House Ways and Means Committee. So the trade representative hadn't spoken to the President of the United States about a global reordering of trade, but yet he announced in a tweet, Representative Stephen Horsford asked Greer, WTF, who's in charge, and what do you know about the details? It looks like your boss just pulled the rug out from under you and paused the tariffs, the taxes on the American people. There is no strategy. If this is not market manipulation, then what is it? Who's benefiting? What billionaire just got richer? And I can actually answer that question for you, because in a video that was posted to X, formerly known as Twitter, Trump was like, he made 2.5 million today. He made 900 million. That's not bad. That's not bad. Again, these Trumpers are not going to care because they can't put the shoe on the other foot. They can't say, oh, if this was Kamala Harris, if this was Kamala Harris, they'd be outraged. But when it's Trump, they don't care. Why? Because they don't have a set ideology. They can't look at a situation and think, well, that's actually not fair. So we are going to be against that. There are some MAGA, maybe when you see this kind of situation, you might turn. But the definition of a sociopath and psychopath is when you have the physical inability to look at a situation and think if you are in a different predicament that you would change. It's basically trying to use other people's morality and empathy only for self-gain, which is so ironic because that's like the most unreligious thing to do. Religion is supposed to be about caring, love, sharing the word, right? This is a group of people who've been hijacked. Their religion has been absolutely bigoted and hijacked for this person's gain. I come from a Southern Christian conservative family. So when I see this kind of stuff going against even like that, it's really wild to me how literally the MAGA cult has completely bigoted, like right-wing evangelicals' version of Christianity. So it's seeing all of this. It's like, how do you share a country with people like that? How do you share a country with people who are not committed to any sort of empathy whatsoever? I mean, Elon Musk the other day literally said that empathy was like going to be the downfall of the Western civilization. Like, what kind of person says something like that? Sorry, I want everyone to be taken care of. I don't care if you are gay, straight. I don't care if you are cisgender, transgender. I don't care if you're black, white, yellow, green, blue, whatever. I don't care if you are a Republican or a Democrat. I don't care if you want to live in a rural area or a city. I want you to have universal health care. I want you to not go bankrupt over your housing. I don't want you to have to pay excessive amounts for your prescription drugs. But who do we have in office right now? Someone like Donald Trump, who literally is the most opportunistic person ever and doesn't care about anyone but himself. Otherwise, he would be doing way more substantive things with his time instead of literally causing a market crash, going in, the market crash that he caused, going in and saying, buy low, and then it skyrockets because he stopped the problem that he caused. And his followers are so brainwashed into believing that this is somehow permissible. How do you share a country with folks like that? Don't we all teach our kids that, treat others how you want to be treated? Don't we teach them to be, fair and share and all of that? Why is it that when we grow up as adults, all of a sudden we betray what we tell our kids? Why? Because now we're savvy enough to try and hide it as best as possible? So this whole situation is just, I have no words for it. Like, I truly have no words for it. I don't even know what to say. And this is what we see. I'm adding the tariffs. This will create jobs. I'm removing the tariffs. Art of the deal. I'm adding tariffs. This will create jobs. I'm removing tariffs. Art of the deal. Why are we even talking about BUTT plugs? Like, what? Do you have nothing, like, what? I just looked at the chat for just a second. You have nothing substantive to add other than trying to divert the conversation because you can't confront information that you don't like as soon as you realize there is absolute blatant hypocrisy that you just all of a sudden have to change topic. Squirrel. Dude. And then you claim that I'm the snowflake. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. The chat is out of control. I've only been on 5 minutes. It is just, that's the thing. So many people in here are just like so many of these like rage typing trolls. Y'all are so brainwashed, and I feel bad for you. I used to be you, dude. Stop it. You think critically for yourself. Don't just don't worship any politician. Don't worship Trump. Don't worship Biden. Don't worship anyone. Think critically for yourself. Look at non-biased sources like the Associated Press and look at that information and think critically for yourself. Take up your own agency and look at something that is like that. Look at something critical. So let me get to this here. A lot of people are like, well, is it very much like Donald Trump has probably done some insider trading? Yeah, it really looks like he has done some insider trading because of this whole thing. Like, when he offered a tip on Truth Social saying buy low, or buy now, and pauses the tariffs, it skyrockets up. That is trading information, trading stocks based on information not known to the public. Let me give you a definition of insider trading, because that's what this whole situation is. Are you all familiar with insider trading? Insider trading is when you buy and sell securities or stocks based on material information that is inaccessible to the general public. So material non-public information, which is abbreviated as MNPI, is financial information about a publicly traded company or security that can influence an investor's willingness to buy or sell certain assets like stocks or ETFs. Insider trading creates a culture of corruption that hurts the market's liquidity and efficiency. The worry is if this happens often, people won't be willing to buy stocks, and they'll be less trusting of the market in general, says Robert C. Hockett, a lawyer and law professor at Cornell University. Less investment money flowing into companies can mean fewer productive activities, wealth generation, and even employment opportunities. What Donald Trump just did with the stock market is a prime example of insider trading. Completely take out Donald Trump from doing that situation. Put in Kamala Harris. It would be just as corrupt. This isn't about him, per se. This is about his actions, what he's done. This is about the morality. You're literally trading information on stocks not known to the public. This is how members of Congress, doesn't matter the political affiliation, get wealthy. And I want to point something out. While I was going through and looking at these like chat messages, or going through and looking at posts on X, formerly known as Twitter, just talking all about this, there was one person that posted this. Nancy Pelosi sold $3 million in Google stock. DOJ sues Google shortly thereafter. Reposted she should be charged with insider trading. It doesn't matter someone's political affiliation. It doesn't matter if they're Republican, Democrat. It doesn't matter. When it comes to insider trading, that is simply wrong. It should be fully illegal. Right now, it's supposed to be illegal, but people don't often get charged with it. So when we look at the Securities and Exchange, you can't trade stocks on insider information. And the SEC, which is the group that oversees it, defines insider trading and says that an insider should never trade the company's stock while you are in possession of a material, non-public information about the company, and additionally, you should not discuss or reveal such inside information about the company to anyone, except as strictly required for a legitimate company business purpose. And that goes through in their insider trading policy. This is why people don't trust government. This is frankly why people don't trust government. There are Americans that are struggling, living paycheck to paycheck in this country, paying excessive amounts for their housing, for their rent. I mean, for heaven's sake, this is a guy who tries to eliminate the Department of Education, which oversees grants to the lowest income school districts, which disproportionately affect red states, by the way, going through and allowing the richest guy in the world, Elon Musk, to just go through and try to eliminate the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which has launched investigations into his companies. This isn't about benefiting the little guy. They use you. They use you, MAGA, as pawns for their schemes. Democrats are at least trying to inform you about it. We're trying to say, hey, they shouldn't be using you. We care, broadly speaking, Democrats care about everyone. For heaven's sake, we're the party of people that don't want brutality towards undocumented people. We care about everyone. Even when things that Republican politicians do to negatively affect Republican voters, we call it out. We're saying that's not right. That's wrong. You shouldn't be treated like that. And yet you go through and it's like Republicans are the mean girls in the world. They go through and everyone's trying to suck up to them. They're like the popular mean girls. Everyone's trying to suck up to them and do whatever they need to do. Whereas like Democrats are the nice table of people that are always going to give you the time of day. And like, I'm so over this whole dichotomy. This is like the whole MAGA faction. It needs to go. It needs to go. It doesn't do anything but brainwash people for the opportunism of Donald Trump, and people go through with it because they surrender all of their own agency and autonomy to praise someone like him. Meanwhile, he'll do insider trading, not a problem. Another politician does it, it's the biggest scandal in the world. It should be a big scandal for them. But when you do it, it's seen as permissible. It's seen as okay. I'm so over this heads I win, tails you lose situation. You can't live in a country of people who claim to have, to believe in equality, to believe in equity, to believe in like giving everyone a fair chance and a fair shake. And you can't live in a country with people like that just do that. And again, I talked about this, I think on my live stream, it was either yesterday or the day before. I wanna tell you about one conversation I had. So I'm a double major. I went to Appalachian State. I'm from North Carolina. I went to Appalachian State and I was a double major in sustainable development and political science. I had a conversation with one of my peers. His name was Jacob. There's 500 of you in here. That's awesome. Hello. If you're enjoying the vibe so far, please smash that subscribe button and send some likes. I love all of you. I was having a conversation with this guy named Jacob. And this guy was a Christian conservative, seemed friendly and everything like that. So I went and talked with him. We were in a judicial decision-making class. What stood out to me was, he said, well, if something negatively affects me, I'm going to make it into the biggest problem in the world, and I'm going to get everyone to care about how I have been wronged by this system. I said, okay, you know, I'm down for that. I have empathy. I care about when things negatively affect others. I said, okay, put the shoe on the other foot. What if it negatively affects me? You know what he immediately said? He said, I wouldn't care. I said, okay, but you're saying that if it negatively affects you, you're going to get everyone else to care, and you're going to make the biggest stink about it. You're going to be really, really like visceral and just all over the top about how you've been wronged. He goes, yeah. I said, but if it's me in that situation, he said, then I'm not going to care one bit. I could not care less. I might actually laugh at you. And I looked at him and I'm like, what? What? And he goes, what are you going to do? I said, well, you know, that makes you into the biggest hypocrite ever. He goes, so? He goes, so? I said, that also is incredibly unempathetic. It shows that you don't want to live in a fair country. He goes, so? I benefit. It helps me. I said, so you're trying to use people's empathy against them? And he goes, yeah. I said, okay, so how would you feel if I reacted that way towards you? He said, well, that would be a problem. And I said, well, why is it a problem if I do it, which I wouldn't, but you do it and it's okay? And like, I'm having this conversation with him, and what just kept going back and forth in my head during this conversation was, this is a guy who was raised as a Christian. I come from a Christian family. The idea of religion is supposed to be about Christianity is God is love, love is God. That's the idea. But oftentimes Christianity is even hijacked by these people that have this, especially by the right wing authoritarians that want super absolute control over people. Point is that, like, it was just wild to me having this conversation with someone who claims to even be a Christian and have any sort of religiosity. And I'm like, I told him, I kind of clocked on it. I'm like, you know, that doesn't sound very Christian to me. He goes, well, I believe that Jesus I believe that, you know, Jesus existed and that he died for me. So that, you know, I'm going to go to heaven because I believe in that. So it doesn't matter if I'm like a good person. And I just was shook after that whole conversation. This is the thing. The right and the far right-wing media has brainwashed MAGA into being unempathetic vessels, robots for the gain of Donald Trump. That's what it really is. And it's so sad to see it because I came from that and I was able to break free of that. That's why when they do something like this, they can't put the shoe on the other foot. They can't physically actually think about that situation. They don't want to assume their own agency and think critically for themselves. So having that conversation with him, and this was back in like 2018, was really just eye-opening to me. Now, the point of this is not to then make people feel like it's hopeless. Those people are much fewer. There are fewer of those people than I think we believe is out there. There are a lot of people who voted for Donald Trump this last time because they didn't like what he did and said when it came to like things socially, but they thought he was going to do something to fix whatever economy. They now see that that was absolutely incorrect. If the election, I'm really curious to see if the election were to happen today, who would win? I'm thinking that, like, because of what Donald Trump has done, I'm thinking that we would see a huge blue wave. Now, like, I want the Democrats to be better as a party. But just imagine, like, take everything that has happened. Just think about what if we had an election today, what would it look like? Wow. Wow. Even though those two congressional races, the 1st Congressional District and the 6th Congressional District, even though they were solid Republican seats, they both saw swings of like 11 points for Democrats in these solid red districts. So I'm going to use that as an example to show that I think the whole country, broadly speaking, has gone 11 points further Democrat. And like, if the Democrats are going to get that, they need to do something with that momentum. Just saying. How's everyone doing in the chat here? I love all of you. So, this insider trading, though, this whole situation is just baffling to me. That Donald Trump can go through and create the chaos of global market instability by instituting these tariffs, by going through and putting tariffs on all these countries, all these goods, even trying to put tariffs on the Heard and McDonald Islands, which are literally uninhabited islands that are only a territory of Australia. There's no one that lives on them. You have to take a 2-week, boat ride, a whole 2-week voyage to get to these uninhabited islands that are just a territory of Australia. Wow, so many people in the chat here are so hateful. I don't hate you. There's so, you know what's so funny is I do these live streams and people just spew absolute hate. Look, I don't hate you, dude. I don't hate you. I think that you honestly have a crush. There are people that come in here every single day trying to put me down or trying to be obnoxious, and it's like, you need help, dude. You need help. Like, if you're coming in here trying to flirt with me, look, that's not my love language, okay? That's not my love language. Oh, Andy, love you too. But I don't know what it is just about me, but people really like to try and come at me. It's like, dude. Minding your own business is free. Here, I'll show you. Actually, one of my pieces of merchandise came in, and I think it looks super, super cool. Minding your own business is free. It really is. And I'm thinking about putting this on the back of my car. It's a nice big bumper sticker. It says, minding your own business is free. I'm sorry, my green screen is really messing up here. That look nice? It's actually really durable too. And I also got this one, which is also another bumper sticker. It says, I'm so gay that I don't drive straight. Ta-da! Yeah, so, also, one of my new hats came in as well. I'll get back to the news here in a second. I just wanted to show this. These haters, though, that's partially why I created that, whole, line. But one of my new hats came in, and it's about Elon Musk. So, here, let me put it on. It says, F-Elon. I wear them to whatever protests, but I like the pink. I think the pink looks pretty cool, especially with the design. I don't drive straight. I move gaily forward. Yeah. So if you are interested in any sort of merchandise, let me know. If you go to my profile and click on the link, it's called Defy Political Gear, and it has a whole bunch of cool stuff on it. So definitely go and check it out. So let me just do a quick recap of everything. It looks like Donald Trump just committed a huge act of insider trading. And you're like, well, wait, what? How? Why? What's going on? You know that Donald Trump put a whole bunch of tariffs on all these countries. Like almost every single country, notably just like except Russia. Interesting. He put a tariff on all these countries. Different tariff depending on whatever weird math that he used. A tariff is basically a tax on an imported good. You said I'm clicking bio. You better have, yeah, go and check it out. Go and check it out. There's a lot of cool stuff on DeFi's website. It's DeFi Political Gear, DEFY Political Gear. And LGBTQ owned and operated business. I love all of you. And basically, he put a whole bunch of tariffs. A tariff is a tax on an imported good. A tariff is a self-imposed price hike on goods coming from outside the country. We don't grow coffee in the United States. Coffee is something that we import quite often. And if we do grow it, it's very, very little, and it's only in certain places. We don't grow coffee in the United States. Not everything can be grown or produced in the United States. Like we don't grow cinnamon. We don't have cinnamon trees in the United States. We don't have cocoa beans. We don't have cacao in the United States. There are things that when you subject things to a tariff, like there's going to be many things that we cannot physically grow or produce. So, I mean, I don't think that we even grow like dragon fruit in the United States. So instead, we do grow coffee here. Okay, there's someone probably with a coffee plant, but at the mass scale that we need it, no. And also, if you're frustrated with that, then how can you support Donald Trump, a prolific liar? So he puts all of these tariffs in place, and the stock market just starts going down because that global market instability of a manufactured, manipulated price hike because of these tariffs goes through, decreases consumer confidence, leads to stocks just plummeting. The Dow, NASDAQ, even Tesla's stock just starts plummeting, going down. It's going down, 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 down. I'm funny. And it starts just plummeting. Well, notably, Donald Trump, with these tariffs, he said that he was going to stick by them. He's going to stick by them. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. I'm going to stick by them. You know, we're just going to hunker down. It's all going to be good. All going to be fine. And at one point, they were like, we're going to stick by these. And then Carolyn Levitt, the White House press secretary, was like, these are not a negotiating tactic. You know, these are here to stay. These are permanent. I've spoken with the president. You know, these are going to be here to stay. And then literally came out like yesterday and was like, hey, you know, this was a negotiating tactic. This was the plan all along. You know, art of the deal. It's like, do you have no shame in your absolute hypocrisy? Do you not care about lying to people? Sorry, that's a rhetorical question. They obviously don't. But basically what Donald Trump did was he went through and just crashed the stock market. Well, because the stock market was doing so low, was so bad, that all of a sudden he puts a post out on Truth Social. And he then says to all of his goons, this is a great time to buy. Great time to buy. Be cool. Everything is going to work out well. The USA will be bigger than ever and ever before. This is a great time to buy. Then goes through and says that I'm putting a pause. I'm putting a pause on these tariffs. And the stock market shoots up. Shoots up. It's like he caused an economic crash to then buy low so that he could then sell high. And you're like, well, wait, how is that okay? Isn't that illegal? Yes. But Donald Trump tries to get out of every legal problem. He literally tries to bully everyone into doing what he wants. He is the absolute massive bully. Think of it like this. Again, I used this analogy earlier and I really like it. I'm going to run with it. It's like a cleaning company that goes through while people are out for a vacation. It's like a cleaning company that goes through and just absolutely ransacks, vandalizes. They just completely make a mess of people's homes. Just completely ruin them. Broken glass everywhere. Just absolute disorganization, everything. And then that cleaning service, then that person comes home and they're like, oh my God, our house has been ransacked. This is crazy, you know. Oh gosh, how are we going to deal with this? Then those people, those vandalists who are secretly also a cleaning service, go through and they're like, you know what? This is awful that's happened to you. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. You know, how could someone do something like this? You know, here, we own a cleaning business. Here's my card. Because this has happened to you, we're going to give you, you know, a 25% discount. This is really, really bad. And then they go through and clean up the mess that they created. That is exactly what Donald Trump did with the stock market. He puts these tariffs in place that plummet the global stock market, plummet our stock market, blow up our trading, blow up our relationship we have with other countries. They put their own reciprocal tariffs on it. He decides, actually, it's my plan all along. You should buy now because I'm about to make an announcement. He pauses the tariffs, skyrockets up. So that everyone is like, oh, look, he fixed the stock market. He was the one that blew it up in the first place. It's literally going through and causing a problem. This is also similar to the worst aspects of capitalism. It's a lot like our food system that doesn't have the most nutritious things in it. A lot of our food, like our crops, are like the seeds are actually owned by chemical companies. Even my lineage is a part of this. My grandfather was a part of Union Carbide, which is like a big chemical company, and he was an agrochemist. And he actually died young. Gee, I wonder why, because he used a lot of experimental chemicals. Point is, that all being mentioned, it's fascinating to me how a lot of these chemical companies that literally go through and don't care about trying to regulate the nasty pollutants in our country go through and they put a lot of philanthropic dollars into finding cures for cancer instead of looking at what causes cancer. They only look to cure a problem instead of prevent a problem. They profit off of the cleaning up of the mess that they created. This is disaster capitalism at its worst. Donald Trump just sped forward the timeline of you crash the global economy, buy low. Your actions crash the stock market. Then you go through and undo them, and the stock market goes up in order to benefit. And his cult claps along like seals, even though their retirement, their 401k, they might be in jeopardy. What this shows is like the worst kinds of people are the ones that try to go into government. Like these kinds of people, we don't have people that care for our interests in government. We don't. Especially Donald Trump. He literally goes through, instead of trying to pass any legislation to help people, this is what he focuses his time on. So, and of course, his apologists are all over. I make a stupid decision, something really bad happens, I convince my followers the problem is now magically solved, then I reverse my stupid decision when they're not looking. And it's funny because this cycle goes on and on. I'm adding tariffs, and his people are like, this will create jobs. I'm removing the tariffs. Oh, that's just the art of the deal. I'm adding tariffs. This will create jobs. He's such an amazing president. I'm removing the tariffs. I mean, art of the deal. I don't get it. How can you live in a country with people who truly have no principle other than praising a god? So that's why Democrats have opened up an investigation into this whole situation, which good. They need to. They should. Shortly after the U.S. stock markets opened on Wednesday morning, Trump wrote on his Truth Social, "This is a great time to buy." Less than 4 hours later, he shocked investors by announcing a 90-day pause on additional trade tariffs on most countries except China. And the stock market just absolutely plummeted. It absolutely rose. Absolutely skyrocketed. The timing of the U.S. president's post and subsequent huge share jumps has sparked accusations of market manipulation. The Democratic Senator Adam Schiff has called for an investigation, saying these constant gyrations in the policy provide dangerous opportunities for insider trading. Who in this administration knew about Trump's tariff flip-flop ahead of time? Did anyone buy or sell stocks and profit off of the public's expense? I'm running to the White House. The public has a right to know. Even AOC said any member of Congress who purchased stocks in the last 48 hours should probably disclose that now. I've been hearing some interesting chatter on the floor. Disclosing deadline is May 15th. We're about to learn a few things. It's time to ban insider trading in Congress. It doesn't matter if this was done by a Republican or a Democrat. The purpose, the whole scam, the whole scheme is wrong. Profiting off of information not known to the public literally erodes public trust, goes through and uses their own 401ks, their own retirement that is wrapped up in how stock performs within a company, uses it as leverage for them, for his rich buddies to get even richer. If this was Biden, it would be just as bad, and this would end his political career. You know why it's not, I was about to say, you know why it's not Biden? Because it's, yeah. But you know why there's a different response is because there are MAGA people who are truly in a cult. They don't care about anything other than opportunism for Donald Trump. They've surrendered all of their own autonomy, their own decision-making, their own critical thinking skills to praise Trump. They don't care about egalitarian. They don't care about it being fair. They don't care about equity. All they care about is if it benefits Trump. When they say, oh, you're a part of the woke mind virus, sorry, that means that I have autonomy from critical thinking that looks at everything as a holistic problem, criticizing people of all different political stripes and backgrounds. Every single accusation from MAGA really becomes a confession of their exact same behavior, and it's exhausting trying to combat it. But the reason I do these lives is not to try and reach those people. They're TFG. They're too far gone. I can't help them. The reason I do these live streams is to reach people like you. Someone who might be political, someone who might not be political. Just seeing this chaos, and it's like, this is why we have to band together. We are so much more than our differences. We are all, like, we're all in this together. Like, when it really comes down to it, you have a small group of people that really make so many decisions and profit off of our pain. That's not how a country should be run. I don't care if you are a registered Democrat or Republican. I don't care if you're black, white. I don't care if you're gay, straight. I do not care if you, if you like Game of Thrones, if you don't like Game of Thrones. I don't care if you are a big fan of Kim Kardashian or Taylor Swift lover or hater. We all need to band together and call out this oligarchy for what it is. These super corrupt fools who don't do anything other than serve their own interests. This isn't about a red versus blue. This is about a top versus down. That's why Bernie Sanders was so popular. Just imagine if we had Bernie Sanders. I love all of you. Even if you hate me. Even if you're trying to call me names in the chat. I love all of you. Like, this is why we need a new generation of, like, leaders in this country. This is why we need a new generation of leaders in this country. We need people that are not going to be afraid to call a spade and just lay it out how it is. That's why I've considered at some point in the future running for Congress. I don't know if now is going to be the perfect time, but like I've greatly considered it. And it would be awesome to have y'all's support. We'll see in the future. I think I'm going to try and build up my platform first, like on YouTube. I obviously have a good following on TikTok. And I also want to give a big shout out to my moderators. My moderators are fantastic, especially here in the live stream. Kate, Jenny, Ellie, Akicha. I love all of you so much. Cherie, Joanna Tech, Ilisa. I'd not be able to do any of this without y'all. Like, my moderators keep my page running. And yes, we only mute people and block people who spew misinformation. If you objectively are spewing misinformation, like, your opinion pause. Your opinion is not misinformation. You and I can have a different opinion about something. But if you are literally spewing things that are just not true, facts that are not true, like, you can't, that's not okay. You are literally spewing crap. You can't spew misinformation. Facts are not up for debate. Your opinion, your interpretation, your viewpoint of those facts is up for debate. Biden won the 2020 election, not up for debate. Trump won the 2024 election, not up for debate. Your interpretation of whether it was good or bad that they won those elections, that's up for debate. What's so dangerous about MAGA is they try to take objective reality that they don't like, objective facts that they don't like, and put it up for debate. You cannot debate something that is an objective fact. You can have a discussion or a debate over your interpretation or how it is. So you are muted if you spew misinformation or you use your First Amendment rights to spew hate and bigotry. That's called consequences. Sure, you can say something that's homophobic, but you're going to be muted. You're going to be blocked. If that makes you upset, you're like, oh my gosh, my First Amendment. Your First Amendment is there, but it doesn't mean that it's absolute. It's absolute. If you threaten the safety of a space, you're going to be removed. Sorry. And if you whine and complain about not being able to insult and hate people, then ask what you're using your First Amendment for and whether it's something that's good or bad. So I love all of you so much. I am going to be about done with my live stream here. Get on to some other things. I need to get on with my day, get to work because I got about 20 minutes. But I love all of you so much. This whole thing is just so crazy to me. It's so crazy to me. This is why we need to ban insider trading. We need to absolutely ban it. Like, it's supposed to be banned, but there's so many loopholes around it. And if you're charged with insider trading, you could be fined, I think, like up to $5 million. But that seems so low considering, like, you need to make, if you're going to do a fine, you need to make people feel it, you know? That's like, if you're speeding and you get caught with a speeding ticket and you're poor and the speeding ticket is like $300, yeah, that feels like something. But if a rich person's caught with a speeding ticket and they pay that $300, but they're a millionaire, they're not going to care or feel anything. That's why they need to make the punishment at the scale in which the person, at a scale which greatly affects the person and de-incentivizes them from doing that. So if when we make insider trading, when we make it actually really punishable, it needs to be at a rate that makes sense for the person. So for Donald Trump, it needs to be way higher, or jail time. Because think about it. If this was Kamala Harris, right-wingers would be calling for her to be in jail. And look, if it was, I'd be like, yeah, you know, that makes sense. That makes sense. But when it's their guy, all of a sudden they don't care because they don't care about egalitarianism. They don't care about it being fair. It's only about what's opportunistic in their warped view of praising their deity and daddy, Donald Trump. That's all that it is. That's all that it is. And it's sad. It's sad that people are used as pawns for him to benefit and for the collective destruction of everyone else. Oregon Grower says gay. Sweetheart, your name is Oregon Grower. Like, yes, I am gay. What are you trying to use that as an insult? When people just type the word gay in the chat, are you trying to use that as an insult? Because it's not. It's just like, but it completely diverts the conversation. Someone said, dude, you're a joke. At least, you know, I do these live streams. Like, you know, it's so funny. How would your kids feel about you cyberbullying people online? Like, how would your kids react to you bullying people online? A complete stranger. Don't you teach your kids to love your neighbor as yourself? Don't you teach them to be fair? Says a guy named Booger. Seriously. These people have no lack of self-awareness. This is why we need to put empathy back into our politics. Like, I don't hate that person. I believe in trying to uplift everyone. I don't hate anyone that tries to come after me. I truly don't. I just think it's silly that you all try to come after me. I'm not here to play this weird game of like going back and forth. I'm just trying to inform you and give you the critical thinking and the agency to look at a situation and use your own thinking, your own agency, use your own volition to then come to your own conclusions. So, I love all of you so much. I need to skedaddle. Big shout out again to my amazing moderators, Akicha, Ellie, Elisa, y'all are awesome. Jenny, Kate, Cherie. I love all of you. You're incredible. Joanna Tech. I'd not be able to do any of this without you. Good friends, C-Bar in here. C-Bar! Love you, C-Bar. MJ Adams, y'all are awesome. I've posted some new content, so definitely go and check that out. I'm doing more and more FAFO videos. I'm working on trying to make these FAFO videos less... You know, there's a lot of people who do these FAFO videos that try to just dunk on the right wing insanity, which, you know, obviously is kind of funny, but also I want to make these more constructive. You know, I want to talk about political psychology and break it down and being more, what's the word? Being a little bit more uplifting and look at this as an example or psychoanalyze it instead of like, be like, haha, you're a hypocrite, you know? I want to make it more constructive. So anyway, I love all of you so much. Secret Owl says, I can be your MAGA mod. What do you mean by MAGA mod? I love all of you so much. So anyway, I'm going to skedaddle. If this was your first time viewing me, please make sure to smash that subscribe button. Please make sure to send some likes, check out my content. For those of you who don't know me, I came from TikTok because that app is dying. And it's really cool to be here with a lot of you here. Y'all are awesome. So anyway, oh, I'm loving everyone in the chat. I just feel the love. So anyway, I love all of you so much. Just remember, oh, and go and check out my online store. Go and check out my online store. If you go to my profile and you click on the link tree, or not link tree, you go and click on the, if you go to my profile, there's going to be a link here that says Defy Political Gear. If you're looking for stuff like my hat here, like, I think it looks awesome. The F-Elon hat. If there's actually anyone I truly don't like, it's Elon Musk or Donald Trump. Because they literally, sorry, I'm only going to give my empathy to people who truly don't deserve it. Or I'm only going to give my empathy to people who, I'm not going to give my empathy to people who don't deserve it, you know? So, that looks cool, and I like the pink with it too. So if you want to, there's a lot of different stuff like that. Go and check it out. Anyway, I love all of you so much. Just remember, go and check out the link that you are beautiful, that you are loved, that you are valid, you are strong, and you are fierce. Don't let anyone or anything ever dim your shine. I love all of you so much. Bye.